Victoria, a lush forest planet teeming with life. On the surface, humanoid species lay their head waiting on the setting sun to carefully once more put their young to rest. In the water, amulite creatures carefully plan their next meal, but diving deeper, below the rock and the dirt, below every bed of every child, lives their nightmares. They gnash and churn their teeth, drooling at the chance to strike, but until then they wait, just out of sight. We should have listened. No one knows what we did, but I'm sure that even now our sins are not yet forgiven. First the demons came for our water. Our taps ran red with thick blood, our bodies covered in human remains from showering. The police continuously opened cases. They never found anything. How could they? We were but mortal. We can't understand the majesty of their great plan. Second, the frogs fell from the heavens. I still didn't get it. I should have seen it. The experts concocted an idea of what was happening. It was obvious. A hurricane from the south was sweeping up frogs from the forest and dispersing them here. It makes sense. But then our children cried out in uncomfortable, itchy distress. Nits and lice filled their heads, making them scratch and scrape until there was nothing left of their hair apart from mutilated, bloody remains. From the forest, flies began overwhelming our livestock. Thick, black tsunamis of flies oppressed our skies, and we still did nothing. Nothing apart from form-appropriate, rational reasons to hold back our inner terror until it was too late. From the cows and the chickens, sickness and death spread. Within a week, the population had nearly halved, but the sickness didn't seem to harm the children. The younger you were, the more immune you seemed to be. Perhaps the sickness had been here longer than we first realized. The doctors formed an antigen from the genes of newborns. It worked. People had begun turning to religion, some old, some brand new ones based on the gods of the flies. But whatever god they wanted to believe had cursed them to this fate was not finished. By this point, the newly formed boils didn't seem like an issue. People chalked it up to bad living conditions they were subject to every night. But the hurricane from the south eventually arrived to our shores. It sent buildings awry and tore down monuments to the false gods. A hail of almighty ice cemented that there was no God. The only truth was that we are alone. And that was when he arrived. He called himself divinity. We were inclined to believe him. His arrival deterred a swarm of locusts which were ravaging our food supply.
Do not fear me, for I am your destiny. I will save you all tonight. You need no longer fear. Every house with children mark your doors. You will be saved and taken to a new...
What about those who don't have kids? What, you just gonna leave us?
It didn't reply. That night, every man or woman who was lucky enough to have children marked their doors. Those who were barren, or did not have children, did whatever they could to drive the immediate realization of their mortality from their head. Sex, drugs, suicide, anarchy. But they were the lucky ones, as we were tricked. As our young slept, monsters and demons from elsewhere crept out, from the shadows, from under the bed, from the closet, from the door, from the window. They took our children, or we think they did. As that same night, every person on this planet turned blind. Please, I send this message into the universe. Someone please help. 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 Please help.
Case file, Delta January 9th, 1977. 42.8975. File name Victoria Obtusa. Message playback. You have selected no. Please select a new case file when ready. Case file, Bravo February 3rd, 1955. 34.8964. File name the entity. Would you like to make a new entry, or listen to an old one? You have selected to make a new entry. New entry, Detective Desmond. Subject, the entity. Event, Victoria Obtusa.